can't focus, these are some ways that I pay attention in. What the heck is... So the last couple years, all throughout undergrad and now in med school, I've been trying to find out the best ways for me to focus. I've kind of come up with a few different techniques that I've used in order to stay focused throughout the school year. So one of which is getting an hourglass. An hourglass is really cool because it allows you to not only record your time, but also not get distracted. So a big problem I have with app timers and things like that is I constantly am looking at it. When I hear it beeping, it's constantly distracting me. So with this type of hourglass, I'm not only able to watch my time and see where I'm at, but it also has sort of a meditative type quality to it. Another thing I started doing was recording with a watch. And what I do with this watch is I record my time, I click start when I start studying, and whenever I get distracted, I stop. I get to see exactly how much time you're studying. And what that does is I'm a really competitive person, so it motivates me to rack up the most amount of time. One thing I should be doing that I haven't been is putting my phone in another room and turning it off. I get distracted a lot by technology, so by putting my phone in my other room, I literally get rid of that distraction completely. The same thing goes with a computer. If you need your computer, that's fine, but if you go without it, just put it in another room. Going off of the computer thing, one thing I do is I print it out. I print stuff out constantly so that I don't have to use my computer. I have it right in front of me. I'm a pretty kinesthetic learner, so what that means is touching things and moving things helps me to learn. So if you're like that, I really recommend printing things out. Something else I do is I have wall motivation. I put motivational quotes on my wall. I have motivational quotes in my notes. And what that does is when I'm in my room and I get distracted, I kind of like look at the motivational quote, and that distraction then becomes my fuel. So I think motivational quotes on your walls in your room is another great way to stay focused. Another thing that people don't really talk about much is good pens. And that may seem pretty trivial, but if you don't have a good pen and your pen is constantly running out of ink, it's not working properly, that distraction just adds to the frustration you have for having to study anyway. I really recommend just getting some good pens that you really enjoy writing and make studying enjoyable. I know a lot of people do the coloring thing. Hey, do whatever you want, do what works. Another thing I do is I have a book stand. Now, why do I have a book stand? Well, I get a lot of neck pain and back pain when I'm studying from constantly being like this, hunched over. So what it does is it allows me to not have that pain, and that pain is no longer a distraction. So I really recommend, even if you don't have neck pain, getting a book stand and just keeping your spine healthy. One thing I think is important is to think about your long-term goals. So really make that a priority when you're studying, to reflect and say, why am I doing this? Why is this important? Will this make me a better doctor, lawyer, teacher? How will this help me? So that's something I've started to do. One way you can really do this is you can, when you're distracted, look up your profession. So look up things that really motivate you, look up people in your field that are really interesting, and use their lives as a way to motivate you and say, okay, now I study because I want to be like them. So now that I use this video to completely distract myself, I'm gonna get back to studying.